This is the EG Maui 350, and it's actually a 2013 bike. The newer one is the Maui 350 EX, and actually we're almost to 2015. They're going to have yet another upgrade. Up until 2014, they've been fairly consistent, though. There's the Maui and there's the Oahu, and they're kind of the same, you know, sort of affordable cruiser-style electric bikes with a decent suspension fork. Actually has lockout. The Maui is the step-through version, so it's a little bit easier to kind of, you know, get on without having to swing your foot over the back, and the frame is a little bit shorter. But otherwise, they're very similar. And what you get on this bike is 7 speeds. Got this nice Shimano SIS index shifter. You know, extra big buttons here. It's not like quite as fancy as a trigger shifter, but if you're wearing gloves or something, it's pretty easy to operate. Nice, you know, ergonomic grips right here. Tektro brake levers with motor cutoff built right in. And on this one, just the 2013 bike, got 160 millimeter rotors front and rear. The 2014 Maui 350 EX, it actually has Avid BB5, so they've kind of upgraded versus these ones that are a little bit louder. Now this bike typically would come with a little bit narrower tires. It would come with front and rear fenders, but they've kind of changed that a little bit. I'm at Myron's Extreme Machines in Southern California, and they just kind of retrofitted this, I guess, a little bit to kind of smooth it out. And for demos and stuff, the fenders can kind of rattle. And these Fat Frank tires are a lot more comfortable. You know, there's more air pressure in them. And the seat has been updated. This would normally be a little bit narrower. So keep that in mind as I do this review. This isn't exactly a stock bike, and it is a 2013, so this one might have been sitting around for a little while with some of the older parts. However, EG is a pretty responsive company. It's a little bit smaller, and they've actually sent some Avid BB5 disc brakes to upgrade it and stuff. I wanted to look at it as stock as possible to give you some idea if you're at a shop or something and you're looking at this, you're confused why the tires don't match. That's why. They've kind of upgraded them. So here's the 7-speed cassette on the back, Shimano Alivio. You know, it's a lower end component group, but it gets the job done, and 7 speeds is enough to get around town. You got like a bash guard here for the derailleur. So if you come into contact with curbs or something, you're going to get a little bit extra protection. And normally it would have the fenders, but I don't know if they fit with these larger tires. That would keep you dry. Chain guard right here, which is nice as well. Quick release on the front, not the back. This is just a standard 8-fun geared rear hub motor. You know, it gets the job done. It's kind of what you would expect from a more affordable electric bike. Not super quiet, but gives you enough power to climb a little bit, you know, in combination with those 7 rings, and it's just like utilitarian in a lot of ways. But it keeps the price low. This bike MSRP is at like $1,600, which isn't bad considering that you've got pedal assist and throttle mode. I should call that out in just a minute, but I'm gonna continue touching on the electronic system. So we've got our 36-volt 10-amp-hour battery pack here. It slides off the bike pretty easily if you unlock it. There are 2 key slots though. Okay, so here's how you unlock the battery to slide off, and then here's how you turn it on. And you do have to leave the keys in when you're riding. So, you know, as you can see, they jingle around a little bit. It does come with maybe a couple or several. So, you know, people on the comments on YouTube have said, hey, you know, whatever, you just have a quick release like one of those carabiners or something, and then nothing dangles. Yeah, that's true. I kind of like when you can pull the key out. You don't have to leave it in and maybe forget about it or whatever. But it is nice that it locks to the frame. It's nice that it's removable. It's a rear heavy design with both the motor and the battery in the back. And this bike is, I think, 60 plus pounds. I weighed it and it was 62, but right now it has the bigger tires, the bigger seat, but it doesn't have the fenders. So it's hard to say. I imagine it's about 60 pounds stock. The other thing I noticed about this rear rack is that it's only got one mounting point here at the seat stay area. So they've got 2 bosses right here that they could mount to give it more stability and strength. They've only used one, and I've heard that this rear rack system can start to rattle a little bit more. So a lot of times shops put the quick release, or I think they'll put like super glue on these nuts and stuff, just to keep the battery in place. And that's another area where this bike's really getting updated for 2015. The battery is going from the rear rack down to that sort of down tube area and balancing out the weight a lot better, getting rid of some of the rattling noises. But I do like the fact that this has a rack at all. Right? It's got the triple bungee cords, gives you somewhere to put a bag or like panniers. There's no bottle cage bosses on this bike. Nothing right here, nothing right here. So you'd have to add something of your own if you wanted to carry water along, which is, you know, kind of a bummer. Seems like a small thing, but you know, when you're riding it around, using this as, you know, transportation, it's nice to have. Other things that are nice to have though are lights. And this one does have lights built in, front and rear, just simple LED lights. They do run off their own battery power, however. They're not wired into this main battery pack, which means, you know, you gotta buy AA's and they can wear out and you throw them away or hopefully get rechargeables. It's just a little bit of an extra, you know, pain, something to deal with. Got these nice, you know, fairly generic aluminum alloy platform pedals with kind of a rubberized grip. It could get a little bit slippery when wet, but again, I love the fact that it comes with the fenders, it comes with the chain guard, all that stuff. Here is the lockout for this suspension fork. It seems to work pretty well. It's a Gila RST, rapid suspension technology. So, you know, this isn't like mountain or trail ready exactly, but it's definitely going to smooth out the cracks and bumps when you're cruising around town. So I think that's, you know, that's a quick overview of all the features on this bike, and you know, some of the comments about weight distribution, and then also the company that you're working with and what they offer in terms of support. Being a little bit smaller, you're getting that good price point. You're getting good customer support usually from a dealer, but they don't do quite as much volume as some of these bigger brands. So will they be around in X number of years? You know, I think they've been doing pretty well since 2012. At least. I should call out this nice adjustable stem too, so you can pull these swept-back handlebars up a little bit and have this nice, relatively relaxed seating position. You'll notice that the seat tube comes down and then the pedals are actually extended a little bit more forward, so it's kind of that relaxed ride position, more like you're sitting on a sofa or something versus, you know, really leaning forward aggressively. So yeah. Oh, and then this kickstand, you'll notice it's got like this extra little spring thing on it. You can't just kick it up. You actually have to tap that. Kind of hung me up the first time I was messing around with it. So anyway, let's go for it. I've already put the key in. I've turned it to on. And then if we look up here, let's see. I've already turned it on here. You just press the on-off button, and then these 5 LEDs show you how full the battery is. So we're completely full. And then which level of assist you're gonna be going in, how much power the motor's gonna kick out. We're in high right now. The way assist works is, as soon as you start pedaling, there's these like little magnetic sensors in here. Well, there's one sensor down there, and then there's 12 magnets on a little disc. And as that disc spins, the magnets go by the sensor, and it turns on the motor. Now, it's not as responsive or fluid as like a torque sensor, but the good side of it is that you don't have to push very hard. You just have to move the pedals and the cranks, and the motor will kick in. So that's nice. As someone who has like knee pain or just doesn't want to exert themselves too much, a bike like this with cadence-only sensing, it's going to work pretty well. And then at any time, you can override that with the throttle right here. Nice little thumb throttle. Super easy to reach. Same thing with the display. You can kind of reach both easily. And your grip isn't compromised because this doesn't use a half twist throttle. It's just a trigger throttle right there. So yeah, I'm going to start off in pedal assist mode, and you can try to see how responsive the motor is, like when I stop pedaling, if the motor keeps going. So you can kind of hear it, you know, it still goes a little while after I stop pedaling. It's not super responsive, but it gets the job done. And 12 sensor technology is better than 6 or 5, which they've had in the past, so it's not bad overall, again, for the price point on this bike. There we go. Let's do that trigger throttle real quick here. I can't really tell how fast I'm going with this thing right now because there's no display with like an LCD readout. And you know, it's more of a basic battery indicator, but it gets the job done. Woo! Yeah, it's a nice bike, you know? So that's the EG Maui 350 from 2013. Again, very similar to the EG 350 EX for 2014. Everything's going to get changed up in 2015, but there are still a lot of these older models floating around, and you might be able to get a deal, something like that. So for the full written review on this bike and other EG reviews, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.